They were still walking me through the freshly redone nursery when the doorbell rang. My mom's voice was all sugar-coated sweet. "It's for your sister's kids. Your home should have purpose now." I ran my hand along the crib rail, smooth, brand new, bought with money I hadn't spent. Then came the line that told me everything. "Think of this as practice. You'll be their nanny. Free, of course." I didn't flinch. I didn't argue. I just smiled. "I understand." An hour later, sirens screamed outside. My parents turned pale as police officers stepped through the door. My dad's voice cracked. "Why are the police here?" I already knew. 2 years earlier, I had left the country. Volunteering overseas wasn't glamorous, but it was mine. I slept in hostels, worked with strangers, saved every dime I could, and the house, my house, was my anchor. I paid it off piece by piece, brick by brick. It was my proof of independence, my safe place. When I left, they cheered me on. "We'll keep an eye on the house," my mom promised. I believed her. I trusted them. Foolish me. When I came back, the locks were changed. Instead of my walls, I found pastel paint, plastic toys, and framed pictures of kids who weren't mine, my sister's kids. The whole place reeked of intrusion. At first I thought maybe they just used the spare rooms, but when I stepped into the master bedroom, the one I had turned into my refuge, it was gutted, stripped, and painted over. They had erased me from my own home. The paperwork on the kitchen counter confirmed it. Utilities switched to my sister's name. Deliveries signed in my mother's handwriting. They weren't just watching my house, they had claimed it. That night, while they slept under my roof, I sat on the porch in silence, clutching the deed. My name was still on it. That was the only thing that mattered. I wanted to scream, to break things, to demand answers. Instead, I stayed calm. Anger is just noise. Revenge needs silence. They thought my time away made me weak. They thought I'd step into the role they wrote for me. Unpaid babysitter, invisible sibling, servant dressed up as family. They didn't know the person who had spent years in crowded clinics, learning patience where supplies were scarce, and waiting was survival. I could wait. I could plan. My first call wasn't to them, it was to my lawyer. He had helped me close on the house, and his memory was as sharp as mine. "Send me copies of everything," he told me, "and don't move back in yet." My second call was to the bank. My untouched accounts from overseas backed up my claim. I had paid for every repair, every brick. Their renovations were nothing but unauthorized changes. The third call was the most important: zoning and housing authorities. I reported unauthorized modifications, safety violations, occupancy issues, words sharp enough to cut without leaving a mark. By the time I returned with my suitcase, the trap was already set. When I mentioned seeing the nursery, my parents grinned, expecting thanks. My sister barely looked up, already settled into her stolen role. "It makes sense," she said. "You never wanted kids. Why waste the space?" I didn't argue, I just nodded. "I understand." Those 3 words were my armor. They mistook agreement for surrender. While they celebrated their win, my phone buzzed with updates. Inspectors scheduled, officers notified, my lawyer preparing injunctions. An hour later came the knock, not polite, firm, official, undeniable. The officers stepped inside, their eyes sweeping over the crib, the toys, the painted walls. Papers changed hands. My parents' faces drained. My sister stuttered. My dad's voice trembled. "This must be a mistake." The officer's reply was clipped, professional. "Ma'am, sir, you are occupying property that does not legally belong to you. You need to leave immediately." My mom spun toward me, her eyes wide, her voice sharp. "You called them?" I met her gaze with a calm she couldn't understand. "This is my house. You forgot that." The shouting started. Accusations, tears, bargaining. My dad insisted it was all for the family. My sister demanded I be reasonable. My mom screamed about betrayal. But betrayal had already happened, months ago, when they signed papers behind my back, when they painted over my walls, when they stopped seeing me as a daughter and started seeing me as free labor. I let them shout. The officers stood their ground. One by one, their voices cracked into silence as reality hit them. The law wasn't theirs to twist this time. As they stuffed toys and clothes into trash bags, my sister finally snapped. "You ruined everything." I leaned against the doorway, steady and calm. "No, I took back what was mine."